Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. You're watching Christian Adventure Gamer. I'm your host Daniel the Paladin. And I have my friend here, Matt, who actually just got this big, huge box of Kemet in. And he wanted to bring it on the channel to unbox it and then show everyone how it gets boxed to begin with. Because, as you said, that the instructions were suspect. So there's a lot of questions, I believe, online of how does this all go together. And he's going to achieve that in this video. All right, so you want to go ahead and...
Yeah. So number one, this is the box, and personally, I think it's beautiful. I think it's one of the nicer looking boxes that we have. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. If we can switch, there you go. Now on the top tray, this box has 3 layers, and or 2 layers. I don't know. It has the upper section and then the lower section. The upper section is where I kind of have all my manuals sitting on top here. And I'll set these to the side. This is the rule book that comes with the game, going over, and it consolidates everything that I can tell. And at a glance, it did not have the Book of the Dead stuff, so I did go ahead and throw that in the box too. You can get rid of your old your old kind of explanations of the cards and tiles. They've summarized them all into one nice pamphlet here, and looks like there's one for each of the 6 players. These are things that I printed off myself. Those will go to the side. This is going to be from your Kemet Blood and Sands game. It goes there on top. These are the 2 kind of areas that block the map on the Kemet Blood and Sands. This is the piece for the new solo mode. So it has a new solo mode. I've read a little bit on it. I don't know much about it yet. So this is, again, a board for the Book of the Dead expansion. So I have everything Kemet Blood and Sands.
Oh, wow.
In this box. Now we get into the kind of meat and potatoes of everything. We got all of our power tiles right here. So I'm just going to pull those out. They stack. Now I already had the extra tray here for the green tiles. They did provide an extra one for those that did not have that, because if you bought the Blood and Sands expansion, you wouldn't have had that tray. So I already had one because I had kickstarted the last Kickstarter. Okay. So, but it all fits, and each of those colors. This is the new amethyst tiles, and then we have the new amber tiles. And I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but they're all the power tiles. Now, these are trays for your tokens. So if you're wondering where your cards go, this is how I broke it down. These are going to be your cards for your solo mode. These are your divine intervention cards. They just go all in right here. Now, a little side note, there are going to be some separate ones that I will show you that I keep in the actual player trays, and it'll make sense why in a minute, but these are only the ones that you'll be shuffling together for your gameplay. And then these are your battle cards that are going to be upgrades. So not the ones for each of the players. So, but these are so
those are for later in the game when things upgrade. Okay.
There is one of the god powers that will also upgrade one of your battle cards too. I think it's Sobek. And so he has one in there. This is just reusing the tray from the Blood and Sands. They just gave us a new cover.
Oh, that was nice.
So that way it matches this one.
And did the other one have a cover?
Okay. It had a cover.
So they just want a matching cover.
It just matches. I guess you could technically still just use the other one and be just fine. But I put my square tokens right here, my permanent victory points. So be it battle or temple ones. These are your temple and then your pyramids. I just put them in a baggie to keep things a little more collected so they don't go all over the place. And these are your veteran tokens into the spot for the veteran tokens. And those are all marked in the trays. that's pretty straightforward. Do you mind putting that back together?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing these need to go outward or else we're going to get caught. Goodness.
All right. The board goes right here. And I just had it, instead of on top of the box, I put it just right on this level. Now, this is some of my favorite stuff right here. These, they have decided to give you a player tray for each of the characters. So how did I organize this? I saw some questions online on how to organize this. We put all of the figures over on the right component, compartment right here. We stacked the 2 levels of the pyramids. I don't know if you can see that right here. We stacked that right here, and then we put the top piece in this little inlet right here. I put all the battle cards, and then I had 2 of these Divine Intervention cards. Now, one of these Divine Intervention cards is for solo mode or team mode. That's team mode. And the other replaces the bluffing card from Blood and Sands. So each of the player boards has its own themed bluffing card now.
Oh,
so
nice.
Which is nice. Instead of just giving us a 6 card, they actually gave us replacements and made them look like have the kind of artwork for that character on it.
Oh.
Now, in here, we put the tiles to mark which color pyramids you're using. I think this is the activation tiles. I think that's what they call those. You have all your little plastic components for your action markers, your turn order, and the triangle. I have not played with Book of the Dead. I believe it's for that. And then all the components are, and that is how I organize it. These are all done the same way. I am going to show you one, because this is the only really little gripe I have for this is going to be for Seth's. The only issue I have seen on putting these together, if you do it in this manner, it's all very simple except for Seth's, because Seth's figures did not want to fit. Which I did find a little odd, considering that's one of the ones that came with this expansion. It wasn't making it fit, but we did get it to fit. I'm going to have to give props to my son, my 11-year-old, who just fiddled with it long enough to figure out how to get it to go together, but they're really tight. It's almost like the figures are bigger, or they're just take up more area. So they are really nice. They are really nice, but if you kind of just squeeze them in there in a similar fashion, they do all fit, but it's going to take some finagling to kind of get those in there. But other than that, I love how they've done this box. So when you set this up, I'm just going to give one of these to each person. And
so Seths are a tribe, then, I take it.
Seth, yeah, it's going to be in Blood and Sand. You had a themed player board, but it didn't mean anything. They've actually introduced some actual variable player abilities.
Okay, so like different factions.
Yeah, that's in the form of the Gods module, which this is the box for the Gods module.
Ooh, fancy.
These are pretty slick. Take this out of the way. Each of these is going to be for one of the gods.
It's interesting how they went with so much cardboard.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Some people were wondering about player trays. Honestly, I don't mind this. I personally really like the cardboard because it allows them to do a lot of really pretty artwork. So I think the cardboard is great quality. It feels great. Very functional. So now I've not played this with the new module yet, so I don't know all the rules, so I'm not necessarily going to explain on that too much, but these are some of the figures.
Oh, wow.
They're
huge.
They're much bigger. Probably should have pulled one of those.
We can actually
You got a different one?
Yeah, right there. I want to see it.
Here, I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
There's one. That's a Widget.
There we go.
And then we got Bastet.
Almost looks like Batman. Batwoman. Looks like a cat sphinx type.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Horse.
Is this based on like Egyptian lore?
It's Egyptian, yes. Here's my favorite one to play as, which is Anubis.
Anubis. Is his ear supposed to be bent like that?
I was looking at that last night. I don't know, but with the way it fits in the box, I'm not going to worry about it. I do think it looks almost like wind blown, so I'm okay with it. It's
supposed to like his ears, right?
Yeah,
it's like a dog, right?
The way the tiles fit on the top of the box, they kind of they would get bent over if they're not bent over, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. We got Seth, and then
this is Seth.
That's Seth.
Looks like almost like a mule.
I don't know what Seth's supposed to be. Maybe a jackal of some sort. I don't know.
Lizard, maybe.
And then Sobek is the last one, which that was pretty cool.
The crocodile.
Yeah.
These are massive.
Yeah.
But these would be fun to paint.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time.
They basically, from what I understand, are like a troop on their own. So
okay.
With the way they work, and then they have special abilities. These tiles just go on top, and this should be pretty straightforward as far as understanding how this part goes together, because this is the way it came. So this box, this particular.
Okay. Everything that you've shown was in the box beginning.
This part, yeah.
Was there anything that you added to the box, or like, is there different options of like, could you just buy the empty box and fill it with all the pieces?
I merged everything from Blood and Sand into this. I will, before we finish this, I will show you there is a place on a piece of paper where they explain what you do not need to keep.
Oh.
So, no. This box, I saw it was confusing some people. Honestly, this is, for the most part, is where the miniatures are. So, say the green, so we'll start with blue. Say blue, as far as the power tiles in the game, there's going to be creatures that you can get for the different power tiles. These are the ones that are available on the blue power tiles. These are not new figures. These are ones from Blood and Sand on the blue ones, but it gives you an idea.
I've never played Kemet, but I've seen it played. A lot of my friends that go to Origins, they usually finish the Friday night or Saturday night with a huge game of Kemet, and seems like it takes forever for them to play through.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It is a game where you can be leading most of the game, and then the person who's was behind the whole game wins.
Oh wow!
Because at the end, everybody's piling up on whoever's in the lead. So, I guess we can. I'm not going to open every single one of these, but you get the idea. However, these are some of the new ones. These are ones from the expansion.
Okay.
So
a hippo. That's a massive hippo. Look at that thing.
And there's a cat.
Is that a cheetah? Leopard or something?
A cat, I guess. And then I think that's a jackal.
Yeah. And
then the amber tiles have things called servants. And this is a bag of the servants. If you want to open it, you can. If not, but get an idea. Now, the amethyst set is based on, from what I understand, I never played with it, the Seth expansion from the original Kemet. So, which, from what I understand, was a 1 versus many expansion. So they reworked it and made it work in a normal method. But here are some of the figures. These are probably some of my favorites from the new expansion. I think they look pretty cool.
Looks like a vulture.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have, is that a monkey? Yep. There's a certain, that's a specific type of monkey, and I just don't know. I'm not very good at
No, it wouldn't be a baboon. It's got a tail.
Yep.
I don't know. Yep.
And then some kind of crocodile-looking thing, and then a cobra.
But again,
nasty looking cobra.
Yeah. All right. Now we'll finish in the top here. All right. So again, all I did was I put all the figures into these boxes. Okay. So you have one for blue, amber, amethyst, red, black, and white, and that's all your colors.
And would this be ruby and onyx and diamond? Because you're naming everything else as far as
sure. Yes. You're probably correct.
Emerald.
You're probably correct. Now the green, the emerald ones, which is green, this is for the Book of the Dead. Okay. The reason it's a bigger box is there are some bigger figures.
Is that Cthulhu?
That is, because when they originally announced it, it was going to be a Cthulhu add-on. And
did they just not get the rights to say Cthulhu?
Nope. Just the community kind of spoke up and said they would prefer it to be Egyptian themed. And what they did is all the power tiles are the same. Okay. It's just now all Egyptian themed with these figures. And if you wanted to still get the Cthulhu figures, then you had an option to add that onto your pledge, and it gave you the 2 alternate tiles, but the abilities are all the same. It doesn't change it, just literally what pictures what figures do you want to...
Sandworm or something?
That is Apophis, which was it's a 2-piece figure.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's a 2-piece figure. It's Apophis. Gotcha. It's like, but this again was from Book of the Dead. It wasn't the new stuff. But the reason this box is a little bigger, and what I've done is I literally only put the expansion on the different actual creatures in these boxes for the most part. Now, this box is where people are wondering where to put the extra. These are all the promo add-on tiles, because when you put them in you cannot really keep them in these holders. So I just picked one of these. I just happened to pick this big white one. I picked one of these to put them in. In the future, they did say in their campaign that this has room for another expansion. So I don't know exactly what their plans are. It's possible that they already have plans for these spaces right now. But for right now, that's what I'm doing, and it works great.
Okay.
Now these 2 right here, this is where I put my components, and I have the obelisk.
Oh.
So I just put those in there, and I don't think I'm using this last box. Nope, I did. I don't know if this is supposed to be this way. It almost looked like I got extra pyramids. And I don't know if it has something to do with the solo mode, because I haven't figured that one out yet, or maybe team play. I have no idea. I've not read both of the modules yet, but for right now, I'm just keeping those in there. Everything fits. I'm happy. I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. And this up. Now there's again one pamphlet here. I'm going to hold up here and explain to those. I put all the tiles here. There's one. It's right here. Okay. This pamphlet, there is a spot right here where it says that some of the Kemet Blood and Sand pieces have been improved, so you can basically just follow this list right here, and it will tell you what you don't need. So, and you can take those out. And it all just goes back in. I mentioned this earlier. I found these little player aids on Board Game Geek forums. I printed them and laminated them for Blood and Sand. I don't know if they'll be helpful for this.
Right, because you have the other player aids now.
Yeah, because I have the other stuff. I may not need those anymore, but for right now, it all fits. This goes back on here like this. And this has got to be one of the prettiest boxes that I have gotten.
Like raised
yeah,
print.
And it
there.
feels like almost like this kind of faux fabric-y kind of feel. It's wild.
Almost like a satin finish,
Mhm.
kind of. Yeah. With a gloss undertone with the scorpion and the cobra.
That's it. So I hope that is helpful to those that have not been able to figure it out.
Yeah.
It took my son and I don't know, about an hour or so to get it all sorted and figured out last night. And but we were able to get that put together. So
I think this box makes this game a huge eye catcher. I mean, it was an eye catcher before because I've seen people playing it. I just don't have that kind of time to commit to a lot of games. So that's why that I've usually said no thank you when they ask me to play at Origins, just because like how long is it going to take? And like 4 hours, plus. Like I like to sleep, so
yeah. And they added 6-player to this, so now you can go all the way up to 6.
Oh wow, wow.
They added 6-player solo mode, a team mode, which, from what I understand, you could probably just read the rules and play Blood and Sand team mode. But and then that Gods module, I cannot wait to try out those God minis and powers. I love variable player powers. So that's it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for bringing us by, and we could unbox it and rebox it.
Yeah.
So that way a lot of you out there can see how it gets put together.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. See you guys next time.
See ya.